Hi everybody, my name is Mike and this is a review of the Trend Airshield. To start out, first let me say I am a professional woodworker, and in saying that I mean that woodworking is the way I make my living. I don't mean to imply that I'm an expert at these tools, far from it in fact, but however, as a professional doing this as my living, I do use these tools quite a bit. I use them in my work. I take care of them, but I don't baby them. I put them through their paces and I use them pretty hard. So that's where I'm coming from. You can take it or leave it for whatever it's worth. But I think it's important to know where the reviewer stands and where I get my information about these tools. So let's get on with the review here. What we're talking about is this is my first review, full review by the way, so I'm working out how to get the camera set up and everything. What we're talking about is the Trend routing technology Airshield, air circulating face shield. This is their regular model. They have a Pro model out now, which I'll talk about later on, but this is just the standard one. I bought this particular one from woodcraft.com, I think in July, and it's now July of 2008. It's now April of 2009, so I put a fair amount of use on it, enough to get a good idea of how it's going to function. It was $290 for the main unit, and then $40 for an extra battery. They also sell additional filters for it. This particular one has two filters. It has a pre-filter in the front and a secondary filter, or the main filter, inside, and I will show you those in a minute. They sell those also. The main filter on the inside is $33 for that, and the pre-filters on the outside they're a 3-pack for $18, so about $6 a piece. And I'll talk more about the filters in a minute. First, let me talk about the overall quality of this thing. Let's see if you can get a better view of the whole thing. And I'm assuming if you're watching this video, you're familiar with what this thing does. It basically has a small electric motor in here and a fan. It draws air in through the front, through the two filters, and blows it down across your face. You put this on. This goes around your head. This goes around your chin. It makes a nice tight seal. And what it's designed to do is filter the air and blow nice clean air down over your face, and protect your lungs from everything that you might breathe in. So back to the quality. It's plastic, and to be truthful, I'm not overly impressed with the quality of it. It's fairly flimsy, and I realized that they were trying to keep it light, but I'm not sure how it's going to hold up in the long run. Only time will tell. But as you can see, all of this stuff is, fairly weak. This is how you open it to take it apart. You pop this off, and it's actually kind of hard to do with your thumb. But that's all that holds that on, just a little plastic snap. I would have liked to have seen something else there. I'm not sure what. Maybe a button, perhaps. This is the chin shield, and you can see it's pretty dirty. I've used it quite a bit. This is Velcroed on. That's fine, I guess. But just, I don't know. It doesn't seem extremely durable, and I'm wondering how it's going to hold up in the long run. But I haven't had any problems with it so far. So let's move on and talk about the primary use of this. And what you're going to use it for primarily is woodworking, or anything that there's dust in the air. And the design is to keep the dust out of your face, keep you from breathing it in. And when it comes to keeping the dust out of the air, I will say that it works excellent. I have sinus problems, and I get congested quite easily with just a little bit of dust, and I was having trouble. And the only alternative I had, or what I was using before getting the Trend Airshield, was this guy. And these are pretty inexpensive, and I must say not really effective. not very comfortable to wear. I don't like being, it feels like you're being suffocated with one of these. Anybody that's wore one, you know what it's like. And to wear it for a long period of time, like I said, I do woodworking for a living, so to be down here for 6 or 8 hours at a time wearing this thing really sucked. So I went ahead and bought one of these. Like I said, they're not particularly cheap. $290 plus $40 for the extra battery. That's not including any filters you might pick up. But back to the filtration. It works fantastic. I was overly impressed with the filtration. I don't have an air filtration system in my shop. I have dust collection for sanding, but not for my regular table saw or my joiner or my planer yet. So primarily when I'm working on the table saw, I kick up a lot of dust, and this thing, you almost can't tell it. You can smell smoke through it, you know, if you burn a piece of wood, and occasionally you can get a little bit of whiff of what you're cutting, but not bad at all. And I've been down here with just clouds of dust everywhere, and literally I will come downstairs, you know, with a congested nose, put this on, work for 4 hours in just a huge cloud of dust, and come upstairs and it'll be like I spent all day in a mountain pasture. Just everything's perfectly clear, breathing clear. So that's great. Another thing that I wasn't really expecting when I got it, I realized that it's a face shield, but I didn't realize how much visibility that you would gain. And the first time I put it on, not having safety goggles on, or safety glasses on, it really felt weird because there's nothing in front of your face. If you're used to wearing safety glasses all the time, which you probably should if you're doing woodworking, you know, you don't realize how much they're actually blocking your view with it off. With this thing on, it's complete view. Everything's clear. You can see, you know, whatever your full range of vision is. The sides of this don't get into your vision. You know, I guess you could probably see the top of it in your peripheral vision, but you're looking down most of the time. So, and also, I never really realized how much stuff was getting in my eyes with safety glasses on. When a table saw, especially, that's, you know, I spend most of my time at the table saw, is kicking up a lot of dust. That stuff gets under the glasses, it's getting in your eyes, you're squinting sometimes. I didn't realize how much of that was going on until I put this thing on. And, you know, you'll be sawing something, there'll be dust and wood chips flying up, hitting you in the face, you won't even notice it. And it's really nice to have, you know. So, as far as the primary use goes, what it was designed for is air filtration and eye protection. It works fantastic at both of those. I read a few reviews online where people actually use this for, you know, who have sinus problems, taking it out and actually using it outdoors, walking around outdoors, and, you know, whenever there's a pollen outbreak or whatever it might be, and it works fantastic for that too. So, multiple uses on this. So I had 5 out of 5 stars for dust filtration, 5 out of 5 stars for visibility. The eye protection, it's rated to whatever for the eye protection. I haven't banged anything off of it, you know, that would have shattered my eyes, so I don't know how, you know, I'm assuming they made it to the same standards as regular safety goggles. This, by the way, is a plastic shield that goes over the top of it that you can replace. I think they're $26 for 10 of them. You stick them on there. Whenever they get dirty or scraped, you tear them off. This is the original one that came with the thing. I've never taken it off. I've just used this one. I just wipe it off. But maybe one of these days I'll go ahead and buy a pack of them. But it doesn't really get scraped. You know, you're not banging it down. It comes with a little plastic bag that you can store it in, so that keeps it pretty well protected.